Hello, everyone, and welcome. Sorry for the delay to today's webinar. We've had a few technical issues today. So I'm Nicole from Crowdfunder. For obvious reasons, we can't hold our workshops on location at the moment. So we're bringing them to you from our homes straight into your homes. Hopefully by the end of today's workshop, you'll know leaving more about crowdfunding and the Active Together Fund to prepare you to crowdfund for your sports organisation. At the end, you'll be sent a link to the Learn platform. There we'll show you how to crowdfund, giving you the tools to raise the money to make your idea happen. So just some quick housekeeping points to let you know before we start. We've allowed about 30 minutes for this session, but it might take less than that. Maybe a bit more, depending if we have many questions, maybe even some more technical issues. If you do want to ask a question, please do type it in the chat box to the right. We'll make sure we get to them by the end, if not throughout the session. And finally, in case any of you are wondering, we cannot see you. You can see us, but we can't see you. So today we're going to hear from one of our crowdfunding coaches, Chloe. We're also going to hear from someone who's crowdfunded before. They've been there, got the t-shirt, and we'll find out what worked, what didn't work in making their campaign a success. So without further ado, Chloe, are you here? Yay!
Hello,
we're going to be so happy when this all works well from this point on. How are you doing, Chloe?
Yeah, really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Very, very good. So firstly, for those here who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about crowdfunding?
Yeah, absolutely. So crowdfunding is a great way of raising money and raising awareness for your organisation by engaging the community. It'll work a little bit like this. You'll create a page on our online platform. You'll tell your story, talk about your organisation, about how the current climate has affected you and how the money that you raise will help you overcome that. You will then promote it to everyone you know, your network, their network, the wider network altogether. And anyone that likes your idea or wants a reward will make a financial donation. I mentioned rewards there. Rewards are a really good way of encouraging more pledges and at a higher value as well. So let me give you a little example. This is Leicestershire Sailing Association. They needed to raise money in order to improve their facilities and make it more accessible for their disabled members. They created a fab page, as you can see on the middle, and used a sailing lesson as one of their rewards. It was really popular, and as a result, they were able to reach their target and achieve the renovations that they needed to.
Fab, that's great. So can you explain a little bit more about Crowdfund Sport?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have teamed up with Sport England with an aim to help sports organisations around England that are struggling because of the coronavirus. We have a very exciting fund with a whopping £1 million up for grabs, which is very exciting. That's called Active Together. Each project can receive up to £10,000, which is pretty mad, very exciting. And to be eligible to receive that money, they need to be not-for-profit organisations with a focus on bringing sport or activity to the community, must be based in England, and you must go on to hit 100% of your target. But luckily, these guys are at a bit of an advantage here because sport actually crowdfunds really, really well. That makes sense to me because crowdfunding is all about communities coming together and cheering on for a common goal. And Nicole, I'm sure you'll agree with me here, but that sounds like sport to me.
Yeah, so many similarities.
So I've included on the next slide a couple of examples for you guys to have a look at. You will see all sorts in there: swimming, roller hockey, rugby, gymnastics. Whatever your sport is, we probably, well, maybe we've not seen it yet. And if we haven't, then I'm excited to see all the weird and wonderful sports come out of the woodwork. But whatever it is, sport does crowdfund really well.
Oh, fab. Thank you so much, Chloe. I think we're going to do a bit of a Q&A at the end, aren't we? So we'll have you back for that.
All right.
In the meantime, let's speak to somebody who's already been on the crowdfunding journey, successfully raised money from their crowd. So, Patrick, are you there? Oh, hello, Patrick.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Yes,
Hi
I can
there.
hear you. How are
Cool.
you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So your project was Wool Skatepark.
That's
Could you
right,
tell us
yes.
a little bit? Could you tell us a little bit about your project?
Well, it started about 5 years ago, and we basically approached the council to discuss the possibility of building a new skate or funding for a new skate park. The old facility is a metal frame skate park. It's past its use date, and it's overcrowded, and for the amount of people that were using it, it was it wasn't fit for purpose anymore. So we decided that we got together with some local skaters, another couple of younger skaters, and my wife as well. We put this group together, and we started getting the word out, writing sort of delivery plans, and approaching sort of local businesses and things like that, just to get the ball rolling and start our fundraising journey.
And why did you decide to crowdfund?
We decided to crowdfund. Initially we did a crowdfunder. I don't know, like nearly at the beginning of the project, but it's because we didn't understand the intricacies of and the importance of rewards, the reward system. I don't think it was quite as successful, and also at that point we hadn't gathered the amount of information, and we hadn't maybe nurtured enough of the community support. So over the time that we were putting it together, we accumulated all of these sort of videos. We had skate jams, we had sort of local fundraisers at schools. We visited the local schools. We did interviews with like the local press and even the BBC a couple of times. So we by that time we'd accumulated an awful lot of stuff. Oops. Oh. Sorry, that's me.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what. Oh, sorry about that. So, yeah.
And what difference has it made to Wool Skatepark doing your crowdfunder?
It's made a huge difference. Like just getting involved and doing this crowdfunder, it has connected us with the community even more. It sparked an interest in big funders like the lottery. We'd already got sort of a large award from Sport England, so initially, so that was the first in, and then since we did this, it really it just got the ball rolling. People got so interested in it, and again, it had everything there to explain the situation and our projects and how much support we had with the community. So
And was there anything you found difficult about crowdfunding? Were there any challenges?
I think the only challenge is the time that you have to juggle your life and your work and your children and family upkeep and all that sort of stuff. But we'd kind of committed to doing this for the community, and we weren't going to let it go, and we wanted to really to see it through. And I'm not a quitter, so we just doggedly just went for it. And we got lots of friends in the community, and we made contacts with businesses and I think families, and really wanted to get involved. It's for the betterment of their community, their sports facility, so their children. It's a free facility as well. So
yeah.
So it crosses all kind of socio-economic sort of divides and stuff.
And what did work best in terms of running the campaign? Was there anything that you felt was the best approach for your crowdfunder?
Just being relentless in a way, but not try not to be a pest sort of thing, but just a constant feed of and it was the rewards. I think just pitching that as, and on the back of that, we have a look at our crowdfunder, and I think the rewards really did get people going inspire them to get behind the project. And there were fun rewards, and there were just nice ones that they could pick up, sort of breakfast for two somewhere, or sort of tickets to the local indoor skate park, or some vouchers for garden centres, or nails, or bottles of prosecco, or whatever. And it even went up to like a gliding lesson and that kind of thing.
So that's a really wide range of rewards. Which ones did you find were most effective out of all of those?
I think there's some of the meals ones. They were, I think, and of course the vouchers for the booze. There was also vouchers for like a local snowboard shop, a sort of sister sport. They got involved, and that was really good. Any of those things. I mean, I think because it was so wide and varied, there was something for everyone.
And having those collaborations as part of your project encourages those people who've donated to then promote your project as well, I guess.
Yes, yeah. All work together. It works together really nicely.
And who helped you with your campaign? How did you divide up the workload?
Well, it was predominantly me and my wife, but we had volunteers as well as our friends that helped us. But that was predominantly sort of like the core was my wife and I sort of doing the grunt work and the posting and the constant emails and things like that. The team worked really well, and we stuck at it, and it reaped rewards, and we got funded, and I do put it down to our work with Crowdfunder, because I really feel if we hadn't our journey would have stopped. We'd gone down so many wrong turns. We'd had so many letdowns. People sort of messing us around with funders and stuff. So this was really the turning point. I feel, and so we're massively thankful for everything that you guys helped us with, to sort of steer us on the path to get this thing going again, and yeah.
It sounds like it built a really good foundation for what you guys are doing. So what advice would you give someone about crowdfunding, Patrick?
Well, just this, not to lose faith, but you just got to be prepared to put a bit of time in. Once everything's there, it just rolls up, and people can see all this work that you've done, and all the preparation work that you've done. You've gauged community, you've got community involvement, and with the rewards things as well, you're building relationships in your community. I think it's for the good. It's good of other people, and it was a nice feeling to be able to do it.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's had a real impact on your community.
Yeah, for sure.
Fab. Thank you so much, Patrick. I'm not sure if we've got any questions. Yes, I think we do. We've got one.
Okay.
Does Patrick have any suggestions for tips on how to obtain rewards from their community? What was their approach? They had a great variety on offer.
Well, I think because we're joining local sort of Facebook groups, sort of like the community Facebook groups, that helped us as a platform to sort of connect with the community. Obviously, as my wife she has a childminding business, so she knows a lot of people in the community with children and things. So a lot of connections that way. I knew a few people in businesses who owns, like, the snowboard shop, and like the local skate shop, and a few of the other businesses as well, like the cottage rental sort of around here and stuff. So I think having that, and then everyone talking about it, it was just a constant feed, sort of nice posts, sort of inspiring posts for the future, of the welfare of our children, and sport in general, and skateboarding and the skating sport.
Yeah, and it sounds like having those links with people who might be interested in your kind of project, so like the skate shop, that's really key, I think, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Being able to find your audience and reach out to them.
Yeah, it's given us credibility and all our connections with that world, but also I really do think the families and the the mums and dads with the kids who ride, and they're just they're there every day, after school, and this is right next to one of the the school, and there's another school just down the road, two primary schools together. They use it loads. So
that's really good. So we do have another question from Ian. I think we've partly answered this already. How did you reach out to your local community? What specific things did you do, Patrick, to reach out to them?
Well, I mean, to begin with, I mean, for this particular project, we kicked it off with a skate jam. So we gathered a load of sort of prizes again from local. This is before Crowdfunder, but it's kind of done in a sort of physical way where we could actually have them on site. People got raffle tickets and did that, and we had like we got music going and mics and sort of like commentating on kids skating and stuff. We did it in groups, and we had a big day like that, and it was on a fair day for the village anyway. So that's when everyone was out, so it seemed like the best time to do it is when everyone is out. And we had people, elderly people coming up, just sort of donating. We had young kids as like ages 6 giving us their pocket money, like £1.50 all in coppers and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god. So so it was that. I think that to begin with there was that, and then doing other little sort of fundraising activities like that around the skate parks, getting kids on the boards. Just to highlight it, and they're just not even to take money or donations, just go there and check out the crowdfunder, check out the the Facebook page.
Things like that just illustrate, don't they, what the use of the skate park is going to be and what kind of impact it's going to have. Like it's giving these kids somewhere to go after school during the holidays, all of that kind of good stuff that we know is really important.
Yeah, it's perfect for them.
And then, Patrick, I think final question for you from Julie. Thank you for your question, Julie. In your experience, what is the best way to attract people to the site? Targeted emails, social media, word of mouth, or something else? What worked best for you, Patrick?
I think really it was social media, like a combination of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, a little bit of Twitter. There wasn't so much into that. I think Facebook really was a key platform to the success of this. We sent out emails, but there was more communicating with businesses and stuff. But to the outside, definitely, this was the way forward. And
was that your Facebook posts, or was that people talking about you? Like coming from other places, or a combination? No, just sharing stuff. Again, it's connecting with the community Facebook pages, and it's that community, and that's a constant feed of sort of what's going on, and obviously dropping stuff in, positive things about what we're doing to better the community facilities and things. People are loving it. So it's that way of building up your new community for the skate park through all of those groups on Facebook. So it's that kind of opportunity. Fab. I think that's everything, Patrick. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
I really, really appreciate it. It's such a fab project.
Yeah, thank you very much. And without you guys, I really just don't think it would have happened. So I really, really do appreciate it. And on behalf of the village where I live as well. Definitely. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. That's so kind. Have a lovely day.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. And hopefully we've got Chloe back, so we're going to do a little Q&A. We've got some good questions for Chloe. Yay! Yay. She's here. How are you doing, Chloe?
Good. That was great to see, Patrick.
It was. That was really good. Right, Chloe. First question from Rachel. Does the fundraiser put up the rewards? So does the project owner put up the awards?
Okay, so yes, as a project owner, it's your job to think of rewards. There is our website is really easy to use. Our tech team have done a great job of making it really user friendly. So there's a big section that says rewards, and you can fill that in, and then it's your job to then, if it's something postable, to then post it to your supporter as well.
Fab. Thanks, Chloe. And the next question's from Lindsay. I set my crowdfunder target, but is it possible to increase it, as I think we can raise more? If we raise more, will we get the match funding on the full amount? That's a really good question.
Okay,
Lindsay.
yeah, great question. The match funding is only based on your initial target. So be careful when thinking about that target. Also, remember that you need to hit 100% of your target in order to receive that match funding as well. So really take into account how much is doable. What was the question? Can I increase? So you are able to add a stretch target if you think that you're going to surpass the initial target. You can add a stretch target, which means you can keep crowdfunding above that. And if you're at early stages, get in touch with me and we can see what we can do on re-evaluating your target as well.
And that is the kind of thing that you talk about with project owners, isn't it, Chloe? Really thinking about how many people can I get involved here and how much will they pledge, and kind of making that estimate will help you to find a target which is realistic from the start. And I think if you do that work, then hopefully you shouldn't have to raise it. That's kind of the ideal situation.
Yeah, I always suggest writing down a network map. So jot down absolutely everyone you can think of that might be interested in your project, whether that's because they're in the community, whether they're a member, or perhaps the people that might want your reward. I've got a good example, actually. A project that I was speaking to today have got a reward of an evening with Phil Tufnell, which is really cool. Clever way of doing it, because so I don't play cricket, I'm not in the area, but that's a really cool reward, and I'm like, oh, I know people that might want to do that. So it's a great way of engaging the further community as well.
And you'll pass that on to the people that you know would be interested in that.
Exactly, yeah.
That's such a good idea. Okay, Chloe, I've got a question from Sarah Cook. Thank you, Sarah. Would you say it's better to crowdfund for a particular project, i.e. a training camp, or funds in general to keep the club afloat? That's a good question.
Yeah, so you can absolutely crowdfund for either or both. Be aware that the Active Together Fund is specifically for organisations that are overcoming the coronavirus effects. So if you're interested in that fund, go for the latter.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Yeah. And we have another question from Matt Wood. We have a target in mind based on our financials, and we've already had a large grant given to us by Sport England. Should we be shouting about the fact that Sport England have supported this?
So the Sport England funding is not guaranteed. So don't base your whole crowdfunding around that match funding. Talk about your organisation, how you're struggling and how the money is going to benefit you. You can mention Sport England because it's an amazing initiative. But when setting your target, just bear in mind that it's not guaranteed, and you should aim to be hitting that target without the Sport England money.
Fab, thank you, Chloe. And another question from Erin. Thank you, Erin. Does the reward system work like a raffle?
No, it works like your shopping. You'll put a reward up and people will pledge on that reward, and that's effectively them buying that reward.
And can you do a raffle, Chloe?
Yeah, you can absolutely do a raffle. It's quite a nice way to add a bit of excitement to a reward. But usually quite low values, because again, it's not something that's guaranteed, a raffle. So
And it's quite a nice way of promoting your campaign. Patrick earlier was talking about having like a party. Doing at the moment, we can't do things like that. So a lot of project owners I'm working with are doing things on like Facebook Live, where they're doing some sort of competition, like some kind of event. It just gets people involved and gets people talking about it a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really like the unique rewards that you get out there that you won't necessarily find anywhere else. A nice one that I was talking to a project owner about was like a nomination rewards. So you can nominate one of their members to do something embarrassing or X amount of press ups per £10 pledged, and then they'll send it out as updates. So it's really keeping the crowd engaged. I thought it was a nice idea. I liked that one.
That's really good. And I guess they'll be talking about it on their social media if they're doing that kind of thing, won't they?
Things like that go a little bit viral, if you like. It's a nice way of making people go to your page without necessarily saying, please give me money. It's saying, look at all this cool stuff that's going on. Where's this coming from? What's this about?
Yeah, it's a way of like soft selling your crowdfunding campaign.
Yeah,
and we've got another question from Matt. Can you change your rewards partway through? If so, so if we've reached our maximum amount, we can supply of a reward. Can we switch the offer for something else to keep people interested?
You can absolutely release more rewards throughout the whole campaign. I recommend doing so. We've got a little tab that says updates as well. So that will go out to all your supporters that have opted to hear from you. And any new reward you release on there, you can shout about it to them and maybe encourage some more pledges.
Yes, it's such a good way, isn't it, of giving your project a bit of a boost. We talk about that a lot, don't we, Chloe, that actually it's quite good to have that strategy of keeping a few rewards back so that halfway through, because we always have that lull in the middle, the beginning of the campaign's really exciting, lots of pledges, the end is super exciting, but in the middle there's sometimes a bit of a lull. And having some extra rewards that you can bring in just to get people excited again can work quite well.
Yes, it's a really good way of doing it. In between those peaks at the beginning of the end, you want to think about what you can do to create more excitement, encourage people to come back to your page, rather than that little lull.
We want to try and avoid that if we can. Right, Chloe, I think that's it for questions. Thank you so much. What are the next steps, Chloe?
Okay, yeah, so hopefully everyone has now got a better understanding of crowdfunding and how it might be able to benefit your organisation. But there is a lot more to learn, and we have created a brand new learning platform for Crowdfund Sports. You'll learn about the ins and outs of planning, creating and running a successful crowdfunding campaign. And this is really important because when you submit an application to the Active Together Fund, they will base it on your crowdfunding page. So if you send one that's got no information on there, they can't assess it. So make sure that you get your page nice before sending that application.
Fab, thank you so much. And I think there have been a few questions that have just come through at the last minute there. That's fine. We're going to sit and answer them all before we go. So we will get them answered. Do not worry. Thank you so much, Chloe, and also to Patrick. Thank you. So please do follow the link to the Learn platform to take the next step in your crowdfunding journey. Thank you everyone for watching, and take care.